want to show you a simple, small application. I want to show you how to prepare such application. It's about creating a simple web browser which allows you to browse through web content. It is very easy to do. It takes little time, and in my opinion, this is a very good way to practice working with user interface elements in using Objective-C and XCode. For this, I am using XCode 441, and let's start. I will show you what this application is about. So as you can see, it consists of few elements. So we have a simple navigation bar at the bottom, which has two buttons. One of them is going back, one of them is for going forward. In the middle we have a web view which displays the content of current website we are looking at, and on the top there is an address bar which allows us to enter some address, and there is also cancel button which cancels out of the search bar. So it is very simple and very easy to do. I will just show you the steps how to do this. I hope that perhaps it will help you in some way. Okay, so let's start by creating a new project in XCode. Okay, it will be a single view application. I will call it simple web viewer. And yeah, I will choose my default place, and that's it. So okay, so now I'm in my project. On the left side you can see files that have been created for this project. We will be actually using only the main storyboard and the view controller. Let's start with creating the user interface. So let's go to the main storyboard. In the center of the screen you can see something that shows the window of your application, right? So for this simple application we'll create the user interface by simply drag and dropping the elements that we are interested in. So let's start with okay, I'll go with a navigation bar. Oh, sorry, I will go with a toolbar. Okay. Yeah, for this toolbar I want to have two buttons there. I will quickly rename those buttons so they, everybody knows what they are about. I will change a bit the look and feel of these buttons. I want them to be plain. Okay. So we have the toolbar and we have the buttons. Yeah, I want to have a search bar on the top, which will allow me to enter the web addresses I will want to browse, and what is remaining is UI web view, which of course will be in the middle. Okay, so at this point we have a user interface. This is just the user interface, which currently has no functionality. These are just the elements. We are actually not in. There is currently no interaction between these elements and our application. So the next step we should do is to actually create objects and methods which will communicate with these user interface elements. Okay, so let's go to the header of UI view controller. The first thing I want to do is I want to implement a delegates, because we are using the search bar and we are using the UI table view, I will want to hook up to some events which will be coming from these elements. So I want to hook up to UI search bar and UI web view. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now I want to create the elements that will that I will use for communicating with user interface elements I have just created on my application window. So what I had there is I had there the UI web view, right? Let's go and call it browser place. What else? Sorry guys. I actually am not used to the Xcode anymore as I used to, as I'm mostly programming in monotouch right now. So we have there the UI search bar. Let's call it the address bar. Okay, and we had two buttons there. Yes, so UI bar button objects. Items actually, and okay, what was it by button? And yeah, forward button. Okay, so this is the first thing, and I already know that I will want to have two methods there for going forth and going back. So why not defining them already? Okay, and the method will be go forward. Okay, and go back. So this is, I think, all that I need for my header. So I had objects that will correspond with the user interface objects that I have created using the designer, and I have two methods that I will implement to and these elements, these methods will kick in when I will push the back and I will push the forward button, right? So let me jump to the body of the controller. Okay, and yeah, I actually can put the implementation of these methods here already. For the time being, it will be empty, but in time I will put some content in there. Okay, so one of the first steps is I want to have here a private method which will take care of my buttons here, because I want these buttons to be active or inactive depending on if you can go back or not, or go forward or not. So if you cannot go back, I want the back button to be disabled, right? So I want to create a method which will handle this, and well, let's call it fixed navigation. Okay, a simple method. And okay, I want it to just, how did I name it? Back button and forward button. Okay. So I have my forward button. Okay. And it will be enabled when the browser place, which is my UI web view, will be able to go forward, right? So as simple as that. And automatically the back button when our browser will be able to go back. And we'll actually call this fixed navigation method in a proper time. So for now it's not being used. Let's go forward. Okay, let's now implement some methods that come from the UI web browser delegate. These methods will allow us to know when the website started to load, when it finished loading, this kind of stuff. So information which basically we need to display status or to do some other stuff. Okay, so what do we have? Let's start with should start load with requests. Okay, for the time being I'm not doing anything here, but it's a good place to put some stuff when you want to do some action before actually anything is being loaded. Okay, so for the time being let's leave it as it is. Okay, next one is yeah. Okay, so this is the place when we put something, when I want to put some things that will be initiated when the loading starts, right? The loading of the address that we actually entered. And at this point, sorry guys, I will call the method that I have entered before. So when I start loading something, I will automatically take care of the buttons below, right? And there is something else I want to do. I want to remember the last address that I was using, right? And I think this is a good place to do it. So when I start loading a new page, I will remember this address. And the way to remember this address is actually very simple. You can remember stuff, cache it in the user defaults under some suitable key. So you do it like this. You have the user defaults. You have to get to it. Okay. And now in defaults, you can actually set something. So let's see, for me it's like caching, and I want to cache the text from our address bar, and let's cache it under some key. In our case, let's call it history. Okay, so when we start loading some address, we are automatically remembering the we are automatically remembering what address we are using. And having that, let's actually add some stuff. When the application starts for the first time, I want to actually check if there is some cached last address that was used, and let's load it automatically. So let's do it the same way. Okay, let's load to the address bar text the content of this key that we have entered. And it was history. Okay, so at this point we have the address, and I would when the view loads, so when our application loads and the content of our screen loads, I would like to initiate the searching process, maybe not searching, browsing process. And okay, for this I have to create some method that will actually do that. So let's create that method. Let's create a method which will be about browsing. Let's call it oh yeah, how about this? So this method actually comes from the UI search delegated, and this is what happens when you actually let me show you. So you have a search bar. When you just return, okay, click on search, this is what happens then. It goes into this method. So what I want to do here is I want to resign first responders. So when I enter something, I want the keyboard to go down, to disappear. Okay, this is the first thing. And the second thing is what was it called? Yeah, I want the browser to actually go to this address. So it was okay. I have to load request. Request, okay. Okay, and at this point I would like here to be okay, and at this point I would like to browse to the address that we have entered. But there is also one additional thing that I have to remember, that when users put address, they don't usually type HTTP, right? They skip it. So let's actually create a method that will put it there if it's not there. Okay, let's call it maybe let's call it parse URL, and as an argument we will be taking the URL that we have from the address bar. So if this URL we have typed, if it has prefix right, or actually if it has, you know, there can be also HTTPS, I guess, then it's okay. However, if it's not, then I should actually put it there. So I should add this prefix to my URL. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I have it. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So I have this method, and I will use it here. So when I click at the search, I want to when I click at the search, I want to actually okay, parse URL and the address bar text, right? Okay, the argument, right? And this, oh yeah, okay. Parse URL. What? Why? What? Oh, sorry guys. Okay. All right. So, and having this. So when I do search and I type something, then I enter. This will be initiated. So it will go to the next. It will actually browse, make the browser go to this direction. If the HTTP is not there, it will be automatically added here. Alright? And let's go back to the start. So when I run the application for the first time, and it so happens that address bar has some value there from previous browsing. Yeah, I won't initiate this browsing. So I have added to address bar the text. And I will initiate the browsing. So this is it. So I think we in some part we have the search bar handled. Let's see. Okay, the web view did start load. Okay. Okay. Now let's go back to the did start load. So I am remembering the address. I am taking care of the bottom buttons. There is also something I want to do here. I want there should be an indicator right here showing me that the browsing is in the process. So I want to do it here. So I'm going to the UI application. Okay. And set network activity. Yeah. Okay. So I am starting loading. I am turning the indicator on, and automatically I want to implement from Navigate the web view did finish load. Okay. So at this point, when it's finished, I actually want to stop the indicator. So when we stop loading, I turn the indicator off, and that's it. And also, I want to oh, okay. My bad. Sorry, guys. I want to initiate the fixed navigation, right? So I also take care of the buttons here. And it is almost everything I want to implement to the web view. There is also one quite nice feature. So what happens? It actually there is a problem. There is some problem with loading the address. So Then if there is some error, we will get the error here. So did fail load with error. And this is quite useful for developers, so you can always put some output anywhere you want, right? So let's maybe do it like this. Let's put some message there. Let's actually put the description of the error that comes into this method, and also automatically if there's an error, then okay, let's stop the indicator from running, because there is no point in this indicator running. So we have the web view almost done. Okay, at this point I can also implement those methods. So go forward and go back. And go forward goes forward. So I want my UI web browser to go forward. Okay, and same story here. Okay, so these methods are done. There are a few things I want to do about the search bar. So let's implement some search bar stuff. Let's see if it builds. It's okay. So I also want to implement some stuff from the UI search bar delegate. For instance, I want to know when the text in the search bar, when user started editing the text. Okay, so I'm implementing this. Search bar text did begin editing. What I want to do at this point, I want to show the cancel button. I thought there were some arguments here. Search bar show. Okay. What else I get? Set shows. Oh yeah. Okay. So yes, I want to show the cancel button, and this. So this button will appear right here on the right of this cross image, and clicking it, it will actually make user leave the search bar and automatically close the keyboard. And okay, and also I want to set the status bar status bar style. I want it to be maybe black opaque. Okay, let's make it animated. That's cool. Okay, so the first thing, yeah, automatically I think implementing the ending and editing of text method is also quite a good idea. So at this point we want to do the opposite, right? So let me copy this everything here, and oh yeah, okay. So here I want to show the cancel button, and here I am actually hiding it. So I made a mistake by putting a no here, but it should be yes. It indicates the bool value of if the button should be showed or not. So when the text begins editing, let's show the value. When we end editing, let's finish the value. Okay, and here let's put the place the default style when we actually end editing. Okay, now one more thing. If we add edit cancel button, let's hook up to the search bar cancel button click method. So when actually somebody clicks the cancel button, let's resign the first responder. So you hide the keyboard. Let's not forget about it. Okay. No. We want to, resign from the search bar. Okay. So when somebody clicks the cancel button, the keyboard will hide. Let's see if the stuff builds. Okay, the stuff builds. So let me go through the methods. The idea is when the application loads for the first time, it looks at the history value of last entered address, and if there is some, it automatically initiates the search. The search button clicked is actually hooked up to the UI search bar delegate, and what it does, it resigns the first responder, so hides the keyboard and makes our browser go to the whatever address you have entered. It also uses the parse URL method. The parse URL method simply takes care of the HTTP prefix. If it's there, then it's okay. If it's not there, then it will be added. Go forward and go back are the methods I have done for handling of clicking back and forth button. So if a forth is clicked, the go forward will be initiated, and our browser will go to the forward address that there is in the browsing history. The fixed navigation, it's a method that simply takes care of enabling and disabling the back and forth button. So if there is nowhere to go back because there is not such history in the browser, then the back button will become disabled. Should start load with requests. We have actually not taken care of it, but it's a good place to put some stuff before anything happens. Okay, when we start loading, we are remembering this address under the history key in the user defaults. We take care of enabling and disabling the navigation buttons, and I set network activity indicator in the taskbar on the top of the application to start running. When the web view finishes loading, I simply disable the activity indicator. And I also, just in case, take care of fixed navigation, so disabling and enabling the buttons. In case the browser loading failed for some reason, I am also stopping the indicator and I am outputting the description of the error. Okay. A few methods below that were implemented from the UI search bar delegate. I'm sorry, I think previously I said that the methods above were from the UI search bar. No, they were from the URL web view. The ones below are from the UI search bar delegate. So what do we have here? If let's say if somebody clicks in the address like this, right? Then we go to this method and we make the cancel button appear, and we change the style of the status bar. And at the end, so when we stop, when the user is finished with editing of the search bar, we set the status bar to the previous to the default state style, and the search bar, the cancel button is being hidden. Okay, and when somebody clicks the cancel button, we are hiding we are hiding the keyboard. Okay. And yeah, so that's it. So what we have to do now, we have two layers, right? We have our application layer with objects and methods, and we have the user interface, but they are not yet communicating with each other. And what we have to do is to connect them simply. So let's do it. I simply mark my controller. I go to this tab, and what I want to do here is I want to actually what I see here in the outlets are the objects from my application. I want to connect them to the user interface method I have put on my designer screen, right? So I am simply drag and dropping to the proper elements, okay? Now I have to set the delegate. So I mark my search bar and I want to delegate it to the view controller and also with the browser. So it is almost all. One thing there is to do, I have those back and forward buttons. I want to assign them an action. So I mark the button, I take the selector and I hover it on my browser view, I let it go and I choose the proper method. This time it's go back, and for the forward button it will be go forward. And that's it. The application builds. Let's run it and see the results. Okay, so it's there. You see I have marked the address bar. We were actually automatically, we entered the did start, we entered this method. Search bar text did begin editing, and we added the cancel button. When I click the cancel, we are resigning the first responder to keyboard hides. Okay. Also, when I finish the search, I am also resigning, but then I am actually in the did end editing method. Okay, so let's go. I am putting the address without the HTTP, but it will be added automatically. As you saw above, the indicator also is working there, because when I click on the when I enter the address and when I accept it and the web view starts loading, I actually am switching the network activity on. Okay. Okay. And take a closer look. When I begin editing, the style of the bar above changes the style to the black opaque, right? When I leave it, it's default. It's kind of nice. Yeah. And take a closer look also that the navigation buttons on the bottom, the forward is not active because there is no next page in the history, but I can go back and the forward is working because the browser can go forward. So when I go back here, I cannot go more back because there is no such history. So very simple application, very simple. Uh, so very simple application. I hope you guys liked it. I think such applications are a great way to improve and polish your knowledge and help you work with Objective-C and Xcode better, because working with Designer Builder really allows you to build some applications very fast, providing these applications are simple. If you need to do something bigger and more complicated, then of course sometimes it's not a good idea to work with the designer. You better do all this stuff with creating, initiating user controls from the code. So this is a simple example. I hope you liked it, and keep coding, guys. So thanks for watching.